Hello, this is James Well from Medusa Games, and I'm going to be talking you through the Great Fire of London. So, as you can see, we have the board here. You've got various different pieces, the red fire cones, the different coloured houses, the black cones, which are firefighters, and these black dots here, which I will go into in a minute. As you can see with the cards here, we have this card, which signifies you are the hero of London. This card, which signifies which colour you are. These three cards, which show different locations on the map. And these 5 cards here are direction cards. So, the aim of the game is to protect as many of your colour houses as possible. Say I am the blue player. I'm going to try and protect the blue houses, obviously. And also, on my turn, I'm going to try and burn down everybody else's houses. So that will be white, green, yellow, orange and purple. So on a turn, I will grab a direction card. So in this instance, it will be north. Put it on the discard pile there. And then I have various choices at where to move the fire in a northward direction. Obviously, I'm not going to burn the 2 blue houses, which are mine. So I'll go here and burn a purple house. When I've burnt the purple house, purple loses 2 points, so they're down from 40 to 38. Now I have 4 turns with either my meeple or the firefighter tokens to put out the fire. To put out the fire, you have to go 1, 2 and cover the fire, and also have your meeple in that space. Once you do both of these things and the fire is contained, then you get to collect that red fire cone, and that will be a point at the end of the game. The person who collects the most of these will have the Hero of London card, which is 2 extra points at the end of the game. So that would be my turn, and then the next player would go on. They might burn down some of my houses, and I would continue to lose points. But there are other ways to gain points throughout the game as well, which are the 3 locations that I referenced earlier. So as you can see on these cards, I've got the Artillery Ground, St Paul's Church and Guildhall. So, if I manage to maintain these at the end of the game, and they're not burnt down by any other player, I will gain 2, 4 and 6 points respectively. Obviously, I don't want to make that too obvious to any other player. If it's pretty clear I'm trying to protect the Artillery Ground from the fire, others might burn it down just to sort of take the points away from me. So, on your turn with the fire, if you reach a space with one of these black tokens, it will be one of these 3 things. The first is 2 arrows, which gives you a bonus move for the fire. So say I went north on my first turn, I could go north again and burn some further houses. This is just the number 1. It's an extra victory point at the end of the game. If you collect this during your turn, you can blow up a house that is adjacent to the fire. Move your meeple, so move it there. I'd blow that up, put down the gunpowder token. The green player would lose 2 points, and then that acts as a firebreaker. So the fire cannot go through that space. This is particularly useful if you want to defend one of the 3 locations you have, or if you have multiple houses in one zone that you might want to protect. One player here might have Bread Street, and they could save their 6 points by using this tactic. So at the end of every turn, once you've moved both the fire and your meeple, you will draw a card so your hand goes up to 5. Now what I've done here is reveal this card, which is the Fire Intensify card. The Fire Intensify card means you will add 3 cones to a space where there is already fire. Obviously there isn't a lot of fire on the board at the moment, so just to start off I will say I'll go there and say if there was a fire there, I would add another one. The Fire Intensify card will be useful later on in the game. As you can see, I've used the gunpowder here, which will cut the fire off from this bit, but later on there might be fire growing over here, burning those houses that aren't connected to the main source of fire. Now, the way the game is scored, You add the number of fire tokens that you've collected with your firefighters and meeples, and you count up the number of points that are left on the board so far, looking at how many houses of yours have been burnt. So say the game was to end right now, I would have 38 points because I'd lost 2 for the one house that had burnt down. I would have an extra point, so that takes me up to 39 for the fire. I would get 2 bonus points because I have the most fire cones of anyone, which makes me the hero of London. I would have 2, 4 and 6 points to add on to that as well, because I managed to keep those 3 locations safe. The original game was designed for 3 to 6 players. However, we now have an expansion which can make a 2-player game. If you have any more questions, feel free to ask, and feel free to ask for a demo on Discord as well.